Did I just discover a way to make Packers fans really happy?
How you doing, dude?
I'm doing good. Did you just see the news about CD?
No. Hold on.
I think I might have. But it's time to listen to Izac from Fun Football Pod, and of course, me, Nick, right over here at Roll Coverage. Let's go.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
Nope. They roll coverage.
Whoa, wait. Is he holding out?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Or was he holding? Is he holding? Did we start yet? I don't know if we started.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm recording, but
I'm
going to cut all this if you want me to. It's totally up to you. I don't care. I just kind of riff with it. Okay.
Whenever you want to start, just let me know, and I got to
go. I'll roll the intro later.
By the way, I'm Izac with Fun Football Podcast. You can find me on Twitter and Facebook, YouTube. Please subscribe. I really want to hit 500. I'm getting close. 14 million.
That's
okay.
What this says. I'm sorry. His cap hit officially this year, 17,991.
So 18 million for a receiver who I was shocked by this. I looked this up for the fantasy thing for my spaces afterwards on Twitter last night. I'm not trying to plug that really. I'm just
no, please go follow everything. Go watch it. Hey, more football is better.
Check me on YouTube because I want to have you on. I'm working on my schedule for the fall, but I've talked some Cowboys because I don't like to just talk Packers. And last night on my spaces, I talked about it. And shockingly, CeeDee Lamb, I looked this up on Footballers, I think. He was within like a couple of points of Tyreek Hill. And I know Tyreek Hill played a game and a half less. But the fact that Lamb was actually that good, it was receiver 1 and 2, and then it was a gap. And Jamar Chase, it's not really fair. I think he's just as talented with Joe Burrow being out. But dude, the fact that Lamb was that good last year, he didn't show up in the playoff game. That's a whole nother story. But
that's a Cowboy symptom, though.
You got to pay the guy. Like, the two guys they should pay are Lamb and Micah, and then figure it out with Dak. But I know everyone wants to figure it out with the quarterback. But I think that my problem with Dak is that you have to pay him because you don't want to have a crap quarterback, and Trey Lance, we don't know what he is. But also, do you want to pay for a guy who, in my opinion, I live near Dallas. I've lived here for 6 years, who mentally folds when the pressure is high. And I don't want it to be the case. He seems like, if the allegations are false, he seems like a really good dude, seems like a good teammate, seems like a good guy. I don't want him to fail. It's surprising you. I know I'm wearing a Packers shirt. But it wasn't just that playoff game. It wasn't just the Buffalo game. It wasn't just the San Fran game. He's not the type that's going to elevate the team. He's got more talent on that roster than probably 24 of the rosters in the NFL. And they've massively underachieved. It's Jerry, but Dak's a manifestation of his problem.
Okay.
Long take for you. I'm done now.
No, I actually agree with you, but I see this going down horrible. So we just recently saw the Eagles getting Saquon Barkley and like trying to give it back to the Giants, okay? Mm-hmm. So what would be a way to really mess with the Giants? Or I'm sorry, mess with the Cowboys? Would be for them to let
Miami. You think the Giants, huh?
The Giants would be an interesting one. He comes and gets Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hyatt, still both on rookie contracts. Their running back now is, oh my God, the kid that was in Texas.
Devin
Singletary. Yep. Him, and then I can't remember who his backup is. Somebody else up there.
They didn't get Zach Moss. He went to Cincy. Who is his backup? Did they get anybody decent?
Let me see.
I know they lost Tyrod Taylor. He went to the Jets, which sucks for them.
Yeah, which means their backup is Drew Lock.
They got Drew Lock, and they've got Danny DeVito, who wasn't. I mean, he freaking beat my Packers. He wasn't terrible.
Yeah. But
for a rookie.
With them is going to be the defense, but they're going to be missing something this year, and that's going to be the quarterback. So if the Giants do what oh my God, getting all the teams mixed up. If the Cowboys do what the Giants did to Saquon and say, go test the market. If somebody's willing to pay you 60, let them pay you 60. And then the Giants go, you know what? We won, say, 6 games with Drew Lock and Daniel Jones. What if we just paid him $50 million and then we'll figure it out?
Cut Daniel Jones.
Yeah, cut Daniel Jones or just go give him somewhere. You know what? There's probably a team out there next year that's going to be like, man, Daniel Jones actually has some heat. somebody out there is going to make some stupid decision. But if the Giants have the opportunity to go and do that, and then you do that to the rival, and then you go march his ass into Dallas, let it be a playoff game, and you just paid Micah, and you
cut
just
a couple
paid
guys. They'd be able to do it if they cut a couple dudes. Right, so they decided to make the move. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Finish your take. I do that when I'm excited. So I like how they got Kayvon Thibodeau. They're going to keep him. They're trying to replicate. The Giants are trying to do and they've shockingly. This is a weird stat I found out. They won a Super Bowl every decade since the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. So if they want to get one this decade before it's up, then. It was 2011, I think, 07, like 90 or 91. They got that. They got the two with Lawrence Taylor and Phil Simms. So they've got 4. If they want to get their 5th Super Bowl, what they're doing is what all the Giants teams have done. They've all had a historically good pass rush. They had Lawrence Taylor, then they had Michael Strahan, and that pass rush in the second one was the reason why they were able to beat. That was really the main reason they beat Tom Brady twice. They got to him. I think they had at least 4 sacks in each Super Bowl, and it wasn't just the sacks. It was the pressure. That's why the Eagles won. Somebody made a play on Tom Brady in that silly Super Bowl. So here's the problem. Daniel Jones, his cap hit next year is $48 million. Their cap space is only 22, but if they cut him and Andrew Thomas and did it the right way, maybe. They might be able to figure it out. They cut their kicker. He's got like a $7 million cap hit. I bet they could find a way. That would be really interesting. Also, their backup is nobody. Eric Gray. I don't know who that is. For Devin Singletary. Yeah.
And Tyrone Tracy Jr. and then Jashawn Court. Nobody's after him for the most part, at least so far. They could become something.
They drafted one of my favorite safeties to replace Xavier McKinney, who went to the Packers, and I was so happy. He made losing Aaron Jones okay, because if you just told me we're getting Josh Jacobs for Aaron Jones, I would have been like, that's a wash. Like, he's younger, but is he actually better? But then landing Xavier McKinney and then our draft, I was like, okay, I'm pretty good.
I think it's going to be your Packers. I think you were trying to pick 1,000-yard receiver. I think you guys have a chance of 2,000-yard receivers.
Oh, you watched the video?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey guys, Isaac's Insights back in the car too. Gonna do a little Packer video for you guys. I already had a video on YouTube dropped today. I did the AFC West. This is Packers. Will they have a 1,000-yard receiver? And this is an interesting question because I think the guy, and I don't believe he will, were to stay healthy, I think it'd be Christian Watson, but I don't count on him staying healthy. He hasn't stayed healthy the last 2 years of college. In his first 2 years as a pro, he's missed, I think, collectively over a dozen games all 4 years. He's going to miss time, and he's going to be limited in other games. I just don't think he's going to stay healthy. So I'm going to actually go the guy who led them last year, Jaden Reed. I think he'll be over 1,000 yards unless he misses time. And I think that's a good sign for the Packers. I think there is a scenario. If Jacobs and Lloyd aren't used as much as receivers as Aaron Jones was, or they just don't deploy them as much, I think there's a scenario where Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks both have over 1,000 yards. I like this young receiving core. I need to see if there's a number 1 on the roster. I like Dubs too, but I think it's either Reed or Wicks. What do y'all think?
I hope so. I'm curious who I'd bank it on. Like,
it's going to be either Romeo Doubs or Jaden Reed and Luke Musgrave.
Oh, that would be interesting if a tight end. If Tucker Kraft stays hurt, if Musgrave and Kraft aren't sharing the load and one of them was injured, I could totally see that. I think Watson gets hurt. I really like Dontavian Wicks.
I do too.
I think him and Jaden Reed are going to be our 1 and 2 by the end of the year because I don't trust Watson.
I can see that. I could see Bo Melton being in the mix too.
Especially for as much as I like Romeo Doubs, he feels like more of a red zone target. Like, he doesn't consistently get open, but Love loves him in the red zone. So I think he could be a red zone target that comes in and gets some reps. And I think he'll start at the beginning of the year. But if Wicks is outplaying him, Jaden Reed's going to be our slot. And then, like you said, if Watson or Doubs miss time, we got a Bo Melton. It's kind of a lot. It's a lot of depth. It's crazy. Seriously.
But it's a lot of young depth. And that's the other thing. Your line, too.
Right?
Your line is mostly drafted in 21 and 22. So everything is young on the offensive side of the ball. And then you go to the defensive side of the ball. And that's where I feel like the bread and butter is going to carry you guys to minimum 10 wins. It's going to be, where are you guys kind of going from there? Are you guys securing the number 1 seed? or are you guys going in as a fourth seed or something like that?
I did all 32 predictions. If you can, I was summer teacher at the beginning of the summer, before my vacation in June. I recorded a bunch of record videos, and this is like pre-training camp stuff. So if Love misses all of training camp, I'd probably dock us a win, because I think I think those reps are so important for a young quarterback like him who hasn't actually played that much. He's got like 18 starts, or including the playoffs, like 20 starts. But I had us at 11-6. I had the Lions winning the division at 12-5. I really loved their talent. I loved their draft. They hit secondary. They've got a two-headed monster at running back. Goff is good for that system. You've got St. Brown, who probably has another gear, and Laporta was a rookie last year, dude. He wasn't the runaway number one tight end that everybody thinks he was in fantasy, but if he's got another level, dude, that's stupid good. And they don't have a second receiver, so he's it.
And I think that the dichotomy changes with the tight ends as well. I think that this is the first year where Travis Kelce is not tight end one, where Kittle isn't up there, and I think both of those are going to kind of suffer.
Even a top 3? Do you think Kelce will finish top 3?
No, I'd probably top 5. Probably him and Kittle would be 4 or 5. But I'm expecting like a Laporta, maybe a Mark Andrews, because he's going to be needed. Lamar's going to be needing to get bailed out sometimes on it. They're going to run some trick plays with Derrick Henry. He's thrown a few touchdowns in his day. Even a Luke Musgrave, but it's going to be a tight end up there that is going to be more, decorated. Getting up there. I mean, even somebody like Dalton Schultz with the Texans.
I like Trey McBride too for the Cardinals, because Marvin Harrison's there to take some load off him, but their second receiver, if he doesn't pan, it could be like the Lions situation where he could get a lot of targets. Like Evan Ingram too. He was shockingly number 2 in fantasy last year. He was above Travis Kelce.
I think that's going to be an interesting one, though. That's got some mouths to feed there still. This is really the year. Trevor Lawrence just got paid. He needs to really go out there and put his mark on the world. So if he comes out there and throws 27 touchdowns on the year, I don't really see that translating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's only so many mouths to feed, right?
I think the one that could be up there that's going to be really interesting is Anthony Richardson with the Colts, if he can stay healthy. Because Adonai Mitchell, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, everything they have there, plus his unique athleticism, that could be really scary. And especially because Adonai fell all the way to them. Like, what a fall. Kind of like you guys getting, what was it? I mean, that was how you guys got Aaron Rodgers, first of all.
But it is a lot of mouth speed. And Brian Thomas Jr. was one of my favorite draft picks in the first round. I really liked him. Coming out of LSU, he's got some speed. He's not Malik Neighbors' speed, but this guy could be good if Lawrence can. It just comes down to, I just said this on, gosh, I'm drawing a blank. On the show I was just on. Why my not braining. Out of Pocket. There we go. On Boom Productions, by the way. And he does stuff with Fans First, which is really cool. But I had a take that, and I never really heard it from anybody. I heard this. I got this part from Bill Simmons about number 1 picks. So I'm stealing that part. That you get these number 1 picks, and you get a bust. So like a good example of that would be Jamarcus Russell. Didn't want to study. They used to give him. If you heard that take where they used to give him the blank they used to give him the blank films, and he would tell him that it was great because he just didn't want to do that part of the job, which that's what makes
number 1
Mahomes.
You got to do.
But even Tom Brady and Mahomes are maniacal with that stuff, and they have all the physical talent in the world, but it wouldn't have taken them to that level if they didn't care like that. Michael Jordan early on was, and even later on, was a freak with that stuff. You have to have that other gear in the mental aspect, or you're never going to get there. Like Tiger Woods scared guys coming on the green in the 18th when he was in his prime because he had that fear factor. So, no, sorry, go ahead. I'll finish my take. So, anyways, you got the guys that are busts. You got Jamarcus Russell, these number 1 picks that are quarterback, even like number 2, but number 1 overall picks. You got some busts. Jamarcus Russell, Ryan Leaf was a number 2, but you got some other guys that have been number 1 overall that were out of the league. Yeah, oh yeah, there you go. Like, and number 1 overall, like number 1 overall are first rounders. Like they're out of the league within 3 or 4 years. People just give up on their potential. So you got the total bust, and then you got the just a guys that stay in the league. They might make a Pro Bowl or 2. They might even win a playoff game or 2, but they don't live up to that potential. And then you got the Hall of Famers like Peyton Manning. I don't know why that. Like I can't think of other number 1 picks that are quarterbacks, but
I can't think of a single
like like if Caleb was a Hall of Famer, there you go. He just was number 1. But you got some other ones that were number 1 overall, first pick in the draft, and they were Hall of Fame. Yeah, Cam Newton was probably in the second tier, but he had an MVP season. He led the team to a Super Bowl, so at least he got
John Elway.
John Elway, there you go.
Terry Bradshaw.
There you go. So
Troy
those
Aikman,
are good examples of Hall of Famers. Eli he won 2 Super Bowls. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer. So you got the guys
Andrew
that are
Luck.
Ooh. See, to me, he did live up to it. He just didn't want the NFL for that long. And you know what? I don't blame him. He chose another life. Good for him. He's out of it too. But you got the just a guys, and I think that Trevor Lawrence is in that middle tier. I don't think he's a bust. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. There may not be enough data, but what I've seen so far, he's like a Baker Mayfield. He's in that middle area. Baker, with his last year with the Bucs, may have rejuvenated his career, and he did have some good seasons with the Browns, won a playoff game. So he's not out of the league bust. And I would say Trevor Lawrence is a little above Baker, even after last year. But to me, neither of them are like in that Hall of Fame. They were worthy of that number 1 pick. I think Lawrence and Baker are in that middle zone.